My name is Abigail Njoki. I am a business lady. I have business interest in fashion and also in the medical business. Yeah, so I'm a fashionpreneur. I've been in the fashion business for 4 years now, mostly focusing on ladies' clothes. And in terms of the other business, I run a company that does medical and laboratory supplies and also involved in a lot of science related supplies for the laboratories. So for fashion, it's something that I like. Yeah, I like dressing well, and it's something that was of interest to me. Before I started the business, I was modeling. I was a model. I was actually Miss Nyeri County 2014. So it became a natural progression, given that I was working in the fashion industry as a model. It just became a natural progression to start a business. And at the time, I had my business partner who really encouraged me, and we decided that we can start a quick business. So the motivation was actually to have something, to earn something extra, and to get into a business that we understand and that we can earn something extra. So that's how we decided to start selling ladies' clothes. And we started by selling, casual, cheap clothes, targeting young people, targeting people who are in campus. And we've gradually, grown into now targeting ladies who are in the working class with some bit of disposable income. Yeah, so that's how the journey went. As for the medical business, it's based on what I studied in school. So in school I did medical laboratory science, which is what I graduated with. Then after school I got a job, and I got a job into the industry. So I worked in sales and what we call sales and applications. This is where you sell the machines that are used and the products that are used to the labs and to the scientists, and you provide technical support. So from that experience is how the other business for doing supplies was born. You have to have, for many people, if you're starting a business, people start mostly from savings. Sometimes you borrow from, let's say, family, but mostly people start from savings. So for the businesses I've been involved in, starting with the fashion one, which is the older one, was from savings from my first job. So I was getting a salary, obviously, and I was not using all the money that I was earning. And I was also motivated by the fact that I live in the city, and every time you're walking around, you're spending money. So something kept on telling me, the same way I'm spending money, I should be getting money. Somebody should be putting money in my pocket. So I can say there was also something that I challenged myself. How can I make sure I'm also earning extra money? I'm in the city, I'm spending all this money. You go to the salon, you go buy clothes, you go buy shoes, you go do this and that. So you're putting money into people's pockets. So there was a thought of how can I also get some money into my pocket how can I make that money circulate? So for the businesses I've started, it has started from personal savings. At some point, when the business grew and we needed to move to a bigger location and get more stock, I took a loan. But also you take a loan against your savings. So having some savings is very important, especially for, let's say, people who have you don't have any other backup. You don't have parents that can give you money or something like that. Or even if you do, it's very important that you put your own stake of money into the business you want to start, so that you can have personal accountability. You can know it's your money, so you need to ensure you don't lose it and you grow it. Yeah. Yes, so I thought it was gonna be a very fun thing that I do. At first, when you're starting a business, you start something mostly you're interested in and you're, let's say, passionate about, and you just look at the fun part. It's going to be fun. You're going to be selling clothes. People are going to like whatever you're doing, and you're gonna get money. And it's you are almost always very rosy. You never see the challenges, or even when you hear people talk about businesses have challenges, you never quite imagine what they are. Yeah, so I had expectations of earning extra income, which I did anyway. You earn the extra income, but what you don't expect is that, of course, you're not operating in a vacuum. You're operating in a place where there's competition with other businesses, and there's also what the market wants you to sell to them. So you have to keep up with, let's say, the trends. You have to understand your customer, in short, and you have to please your customer. So there's that aspect of the extra work and the consistency that sometimes is not so clear when you're starting out, or you have to encounter it so that you can recognize it. Otherwise, if you're told, I mean, you're like, okay, yeah, businesses have challenges. Yeah, but in every business, you know, there's always that. Once you get into the industry is when you will learn how things are done. And there's no business you'll do that somebody else hasn't done or hasn't thought about doing. So once you start is when you learn how things are done. So in short, it's an industry. So you will understand, for example, how to price items. You cannot price items past this price, even if, because there's like let's say there's a cap in the market that regulates what this item should go for. So if you price it out of that, people just won't buy. Or if you price it below, there's something also it communicates to the client. So yeah, so there's a lot of things that you learn, but it's a great learning experience. What you learn when doing business, you can never learn in any class, or even if you learn in class, it doesn't quite sink in until you're actually practically running a business. Of course, there are challenges. One, there's no business that you operate in a vacuum. You operate in a group. You operate in an environment where other people are doing the same thing. So the group of you make what you call the industry. So you have the fashion industry, media industry, blah, blah, blah. And you're all competing for the same market. So one of the challenges that will arise from competition, you're competing for the same clients. Maybe you have different products, or maybe it's about how you communicate the products, yeah? But that is the one thing. So mostly when you're starting a business, you never really think about the competition, especially if you're very new. But if you're a seasoned businessman, you always know that if I'm getting into this space, I'm getting into a space where ABC or D other businesses are also there. So you always have to figure out how to differentiate yourself. The other challenge is that, especially let's say in the fashion business, it's a very fast moving business. Fashion changes, I think, like 5 times in a year. So you have to be very agile. You have to keep looking out for the trends. And when the trends are hot, you have to, of course, source and stock and make sure you sell as the trend is hot, because now as it fizzles out, then people are no longer interested, they've moved into the next thing. So sometimes that can be a challenge, keeping up with the trends or keeping up with what the market wants, because it changes a lot. Maybe another challenge would be that all businesses require require a significant amount of hands-on from the owner. So if you have other things that you're doing, it could be a challenge to balance your time. When I started the fashion business, of course I was employed, and it was like a side hustle. So I'll dedicate time after work. So it's like I had 2 jobs. So that can be quite challenging, and it can be quite tiring that you're managing this and you also have a full-time job. Yeah, and of course with the pandemic, it changed everything. So like for us during the pandemic, people are no longer buying clothes, they're not going to offices. So you had to think first about what else can you sell that people will be suiting people during the pandemic. Yeah. So we are living in challenging times, especially for young people. There's a lot of there are not many opportunities for formal employment, that is for sure. And it might not be individual failure, because sometimes people feel as if, you've not looked for jobs enough, but there are simply not enough jobs to accommodate everyone who's being churned out from institutions of higher learning, to accommodate even not institutions of higher learning, every young person with a skill. There's just not enough jobs, and that is a factor of the economy, when the economy is not growing a lot. So the fact that there's not been a lot of employment opportunities, there's been a sort of push into entrepreneurship, a sort of narrative that just find something you can start and hustle, the whole hustling thing. Yeah. And as much as I understand, what I will say is that that is a very short term. It's a very short term solution. It's not a long term solution to the problem of unemployment. For example, I already said I started the business through savings. So had I not been formally employed, we'll not be talking about me as an entrepreneur. And that's the story of so many people. Also, when you get an opportunity to be employed formally is when you get to learn. You cannot start a business you know nothing about. You will fail miserably, or it will be very challenging to make the business profitable. Most people start businesses in the fields that they had previously worked in. So even if somebody is operating a clothes business, maybe they've previously worked selling clothes. If somebody starts whatever business they do, the opportunity for you to identify the opportunity of entrepreneurship, you must have worked in that place so that you can understand. Otherwise, if it's just out of nowhere you think of starting, you will encounter a lot of challenges to make it profitable. So what I can say about the unemployment thing, it's quite unfortunate, and it's the mandate of government to make sure the economy is growing enough to give enough young people opportunities, so that even when you're in that formal employment and you realize you have an entrepreneurial streak, you have an idea of where you should start. Otherwise, going to school and learning all these skills and not getting an opportunity to grow the skills is shortchanging young people. I can encourage people, when you're in school, just explore as much as you can, work on your skills. Don't worry too much about making money when you're in school. Once you get out of school, that's the only thing you'll be worrying about. But once you're in school, just make sure whatever took you to school, you concentrate on it. Whatever skills you need to learn, you learn them. Take up whatever projects, do collaborative things with lecturers, whatever things. Just work on the skill, because now in the process of working on the skill, you can identify a space that you'd like to occupy, or even in the process of making whatever you're learning better is when you get opportunities for internship. And those opportunities are the ones that help you, one, earn, and two, learn to work within the industry. Like you said, everything is within an industry, and industry has rules that govern it. So when you're not within the industry, you might not understand how things are done. But if you can get opportunities, where interning opportunities or opportunities to work on projects with your lecturer, whatever it is, just take it and work on it. And that is the one way of ensuring that you have a secure future.
Okay. Acha niseme COVID imeaffect in a good way na in a bad way. How? Acha niseme in a bad way, clients wale reduce because the time watu hapo wanaingia tao, hatukuwa tunapata clients. Ama watu wanakuja wawili watatu, clients hawakuji. Unaona? Unapata in a whole day unaweza attend clients wawili, but now since all restrictions mingi, you can even attend to 10 clients in a day, 15. But sasa COVID will affect mostly sana. But unapata time ya COVID, so the good part ni tulipata deals za mask, unaona, because kuna zile customized masks, so kama hizo tulipata deal. So unasema COVID ilikuja na ubaya na pia ilikuwa na uzuri kidogo, because now we are doing masks more than anything. Inaweza boost my youth, gava inaweza boost my youth acha tuseme hawezi open all branding places anywhere, but now they can give people opportunity ya learn. Wanaweza set like cyber places for free, that is there is a cyber institution for learning graphic and design, which you don't have to pay for it. Unajua kuna wenye watajitokeza wenye wanatakanga kulearn hizi vitu, but now since zote lazima zilipiwe, unapata low turnout, so because of the cash. But now when government sets free institution for learning computers, designers watakuwa wengi. So gava wanaweza chip in, wafungwe tu places, waseme watu wajitolee, mtu aenda learn vitu 2-3. From there you can get a job, because utapata mtu anajitolea, anaenda na learn, anakuwa expert in all designs and everything. So gava isaidie tu pale inaweza. Sisemi wafungue at 100, but now you can at least do something, and mtu anaweza sema gava ilifungua kitu fulani.